Have you ever felt weighed down by emotional ties that seem to hold you back rather than lift you up? How to emotionally detach offers a pathway to finding freedom, not through coldness or indifference, but by embracing balance, clarity, and self-preservation in your connections. Emotional detachment is a transformative approach to achieving freedom from the burdens of pressure and unhealthy expectations. Far from encouraging coldness or indifference, it emphasizes the importance of balancing connection with self-preservation. By learning to detach emotionally, individuals can protect their inner peace and self-worth while maintaining meaningful and compassionate relationships. At its core, emotional detachment is not about withdrawing from the world, but about engaging with it more authentically. It allows individuals to prioritize their own needs and values, making space for growth and resilience. This practice challenges the belief that self-sacrifice is necessary for love, and instead promotes the idea that healthy relationships thrive when built on mutual respect and emotional independence. As we navigate the complexities of life, emotional detachment serves as a guiding principle for fostering balance and harmony. It is an invitation to honor both the connections we share with others and the relationship we hold with ourselves, paving the way for a more fulfilling and peaceful existence. Emotional attachment is a fundamental human experience, deeply ingrained in our nature as social beings. It is the invisible thread that connects us to people, places, memories, and even objects. To understand its complexity, we must explore its origins, roles, and the profound impact it has on our relationships and personal development. From birth, emotional attachment begins as a survival mechanism. Infants form bonds with caregivers to feel safe and nurtured. These early attachments, often studied through the lens of attachment theory, lay the groundwork for how we connect with others later in life. Secure attachments in childhood foster confidence, resilience, and the ability to trust, while insecure attachments caused by neglect, inconsistency, or trauma can lead to fear, dependency, or difficulty trusting others. The need for emotional attachment doesn't end in childhood. As we grow, we seek similar bonds in friendships, romantic relationships, and even with groups or communities. These connections fulfill our innate desire for belonging, validation, and understanding. However, the quality of these attachments often mirrors the patterns established in our formative years, influencing whether our relationships are healthy or fraught with conflict. Emotional attachment serves multiple roles in our lives, acting as both a source of strength and a potential vulnerability. At its best, attachment fosters connection and support. It creates a sense of belonging, giving us a secure base from which to explore the world. For example, a loving relationship can empower us to take risks, pursue goals, and face challenges with confidence, knowing we have someone to rely on. On the other hand, emotional attachment can also act as a mirror, reflecting our insecurities and fears. When attachment stems from unmet needs or unresolved trauma, it may manifest as clinginess, jealousy, or a fear of abandonment. This dynamic often leads to relationships where one seeks constant reassurance, sacrificing personal growth for the illusion of security. Moreover, emotional attachment isn't limited to people. We can form strong emotional bonds with places, objects, or even routines. A favorite childhood toy, a hometown, or a daily ritual can bring comfort and stability, especially during times of change or uncertainty. However, when these attachments become excessive, they can hinder adaptability and growth, trapping us in the past. Emotional attachment shapes the dynamics of our relationships, influencing how we communicate, resolve conflicts, and express affection. In healthy relationships, attachment fosters mutual respect and understanding. Partners or friends can rely on each other without feeling suffocated, striking a balance between closeness and individuality. This equilibrium allows each person to grow while strengthening the bond. In contrast, unhealthy attachments can create cycles of dependency and resentment. When one partner becomes overly reliant on the other for emotional stability, it can lead to imbalance. For instance, someone who seeks constant validation may overwhelm their partner, causing strain and dissatisfaction. Recognizing these patterns is crucial for fostering healthier, more balanced connections. Attachment also affects our ability to let go. The end of a relationship, the loss of a loved one, or a significant life change can trigger intense emotional reactions. These moments highlight the depth of our attachments and the difficulty of moving forward. While painful, these experiences can also serve as opportunities for growth, teaching us resilience and the value of self-reliance. Emotional attachment plays a significant role in personal development, shaping how we view ourselves and the world. A secure attachment fosters self-esteem and emotional stability, providing the confidence needed to pursue personal goals. When we feel supported and valued, we are more likely to take risks, embrace challenges, and strive for self-improvement. Conversely, attachments rooted in insecurity can limit personal growth. Fear of rejection or failure may prevent us from stepping out of our comfort zones, keeping us tied to familiar but unfulfilling situations. For example, staying in a toxic relationship out of fear of being alone stifles self-discovery and prevents us from forming healthier connections. Understanding emotional attachment also enhances self-awareness. By examining our attachment patterns, we can identify areas where we may be overly dependent or resistant to closeness. This awareness allows us to address unresolved issues, cultivate healthier relationships, and build a stronger sense of self. Emotional attachment is neither inherently good nor bad. It is a spectrum. Its impact depends on its balance and the intentions behind it. By acknowledging its origins and roles, we can better navigate its influence on our lives. This requires self-awareness, mindfulness, and a willingness to reflect on our past experiences and their effect on our present behavior. Emotional attachment offers a unique lens through which we can view our relationships and ourselves. It challenges us to grow, adapt, and find balance, reminding us that while connections enrich our lives, our worth and identity must come from within. Unhealthy attachments develop when emotional bonds are formed out of insecurity, fear, or unfulfilled emotional needs rather than genuine connection and mutual respect. While attachments are a natural and essential part of the human experience, those that become unhealthy can disrupt personal well-being and create imbalances in relationships. To overcome these detrimental patterns, it is crucial to recognize the symptoms of unhealthy attachment and understand their profound implications on both individual identity and the quality of relationships. Recognizing symptoms of unhealthy attachment. Unhealthy attachments manifest in various ways, often blending into daily interactions until they become entrenched in how we perceive ourselves and relate to others. Identifying these symptoms is the first step toward addressing and transforming these patterns. A pervasive fear of abandonment is one of the most recognizable signs. Individuals with unhealthy attachments may feel an overwhelming anxiety about being left or rejected, even in stable relationships. This fear often drives behaviors such as overthinking, excessive reassurance seeking, or even possessiveness, as they attempt to preemptively protect themselves from perceived threats of separation. Another common symptom is overdependency, where an individual relies heavily on another person for emotional stability and self-worth. They may feel unable to make decisions or face challenges independently, constantly seeking approval or guidance. This dependency creates an imbalance. as the relationship becomes their primary source of identity and happiness. Jealousy and possessiveness are also indicative of unhealthy attachments. These feelings stem from insecurity and the belief that the other person's time, attention, or affection must be entirely directed toward them. This mindset often leads to controlling behaviors and a lack of trust, which can stifle the natural flow of any healthy relationship. Unhealthy attachments can result in a loss of identity, as individuals prioritize the needs, desires, and opinions of the other person over their own. Over time, they may feel disconnected from their true selves, unsure of their values or interests outside the attachment. This erosion of individuality not only diminishes self-worth, but also contributes to a sense of emptiness or dissatisfaction. Another hallmark of unhealthy attachment is emotional volatility. Individuals may experience extreme highs when their attachment feels secure and equally intense, lows when it feels threatened. This emotional turbulence often consumes their energy, leaving little room for self-reflection or personal growth. Additionally, unhealthy attachments often lead to a neglect of other areas of life. Relationships, hobbies, and responsibilities outside the attachment may suffer as the individual becomes singularly focused on maintaining the bond. This overinvestment can create feelings of isolation and stagnation, as their world becomes narrowly defined by the attachment. A persistent need for reassurance underscores unhealthy attachment patterns. Individuals may constantly seek affirmation to alleviate feelings of insecurity, placing undue pressure on their partner or loved one. Over time, this behavior can exhaust both parties and strain the relationship. Unhealthy attachments deeply affect an individual's sense of self, distorting how they view their worth and capabilities. These distortions often stem from the overemphasis placed on external validation. The most immediate impact is the erosion of self-worth. People with unhealthy attachments tend to equate their value with the approval or affection of the other person. When this validation is absent or inconsistent, they may feel unworthy, inadequate, or even lost. This cycle reinforces dependency as they continue to seek what they feel they lack within themselves. Unhealthy attachments also result in the blurring of personal boundaries. Individuals may compromise their values, preferences, or limits to avoid conflict or rejection, leading to a dynamic where their needs are perpetually overlooked. This lack of boundaries not only diminishes their sense of autonomy, but also fosters resentment and frustration over time. Additionally, these attachments anchor self-esteem to external validation. Individuals believe their worth is tied to being loved, accepted, or needed by another person. This dependence prevents them from cultivating intrinsic confidence, leaving them vulnerable to feelings of inadequacy when the attachment falters. Over time, the attachment fosters a loss of autonomy, as individuals feel unable to navigate life independently. This dependence stifles growth, limiting opportunities to explore their potential or make choices aligned with their true selves. As a result, personal development is halted, leaving individuals feeling trapped and unfulfilled. Unhealthy attachments create significant challenges in relationships, often disrupting their balance and sustainability. One of the most noticeable effects is the emergence of strained dynamics. Overdependency and constant reassurance seeking place an emotional burden on the other person, who may feel overwhelmed by the constant need to provide stability. This dynamic often leads to frustration, resentment, and eventual withdrawal. Lack of trust is another consequence of unhealthy attachment. Jealousy and possessiveness erode the foundational trust necessary for any healthy relationship. The individual may misinterpret harmless interactions as threats, creating unnecessary conflict and emotional distance. Unhealthy attachments also lead to communication breakdowns. Fear of confrontation or rejection often prevents individuals from expressing their true feelings or addressing issues directly. This avoidance fosters misunderstandings and unresolved tensions, which further weaken the relationship. Another harmful effect is the development of toxic patterns, where the relationship becomes a cycle of dependency, conflict, and reconciliation. This instability prevents the bond from evolving into a secure and supportive connection, leaving both parties feeling unfulfilled and drained. Finally, the emotional demands of unhealthy attachment can lead to burnout. Both individuals may feel exhausted, one from constantly seeking validation, and the other from trying to meet these relentless needs. Over time, this exhaustion can cause the relationship to collapse under its own weight. Breaking free from unhealthy attachments involves setting firm boundaries which protect your individuality and create space for healthier connections. The first step is to recognize the patterns. Reflecting on past behaviors and relationship dynamics helps individuals identify recurring signs of unhealthy attachment and their underlying causes. This awareness is essential for making meaningful changes. Focusing on self-worth is also critical. Developing an internal sense of value through practices like affirmations, therapy, or self-compassion helps individuals detach their identity from external validation. This shift fosters confidence and independence, empowering them to create healthier connections. Setting and enforcing boundaries is equally important. Boundaries protect individuality and prevent relationships from becoming all-consuming. They also create space for both parties to thrive independently while maintaining a meaningful bond. To overcome emotional dependency, individuals must develop emotional independence. Practices such as mindfulness, journaling, or engaging in fulfilling activities can help them manage their emotions without relying on external sources of validation. Seeking support from trusted friends or professionals can also provide guidance and accountability. External perspectives can shed light on blind spots and offer practical advice for building healthier relationship patterns. Individuals should embrace personal growth as an ongoing journey. Viewing the process as an opportunity to improve oneself fosters resilience and optimism. Each step taken toward healthier attachments strengthens their capacity for balanced, meaningful relationships. Unhealthy attachments, while challenging, provide an opportunity for self-discovery and transformation. By recognizing the symptoms and understanding their impact on identity and relationships, individuals can take proactive steps to break free from dependency and cultivate healthier patterns. This journey demands courage, patience, and self-compassion, but ultimately leads to a life of balance, authenticity, and fulfillment. Letting go of unhealthy attachments creates space for connections that empower and nurture, enriching both the individual and their relationships. Boundaries are a vital part of maintaining healthy relationships and a balanced sense of self-worth. They define where your personal space ends and where another's begins, allowing you to protect your emotional, physical, and mental well-being. Without boundaries, relationships often become unbalanced, leading to feelings of resentment, burnout, and emotional exhaustion. Paired with self-worth, boundaries not only help preserve your peace, but also reinforce your intrinsic value by asserting that your needs, feelings, and limits matter. Self-worth serves as the foundation for boundary setting. When individuals have a strong sense of their own value, they are more likely to set limits that protect their well-being. Conversely, when self-worth is low, people may feel hesitant to establish boundaries, fearing rejection or conflict. They might sacrifice their own comfort to please others or avoid discomfort, creating a dynamic that erodes their self-esteem over time. Boundaries, however, are a profound declaration of self-respect. Each time you establish and enforce a boundary, you communicate to yourself and others that your needs and feelings are important, reinforcing the belief that you deserve to be treated with dignity and consideration. Boundaries manifest in different forms, such as physical, protecting personal space, emotional, guarding feelings, and time, managing priorities. These boundaries ensure respect for your needs and help prevent burnout. Mental boundaries safeguard your thoughts and beliefs, emphasizing your right to hold opinions without coercion. Material boundaries relate to possessions and financial resources, ensuring that your generosity doesn't come at the expense of your own needs. In the digital age, boundaries surrounding technology and social media have become essential, helping you manage how and when you engage with the online world to preserve your mental space. Setting boundaries begins with self-awareness. Reflecting on your values, priorities, and the areas where you feel overwhelmed or unappreciated can help you identify where boundaries are needed. Once these areas are clear, the next step is communication. Articulating your boundaries in a calm, assertive manner ensures they are understood and respected. For example, instead of saying, "You never give me space," you might express, "I need some time to myself each evening to recharge." This approach avoids blame while effectively conveying your needs. Consistency is critical when enforcing boundaries. If you allow exceptions or fail to uphold them, it sends mixed signals and diminishes their effectiveness. By standing firm, you reinforce your commitment to self-respect. Resistance to boundaries is natural, particularly from those who have grown accustomed to benefiting from your lack of them. Anticipating pushback can help you remain steadfast in your decision. Remember, boundaries are not about controlling others, but about protecting yourself. The ability to say no without guilt is another cornerstone of boundary setting. Saying no is not an act of selfishness, but rather a necessary step in prioritizing your well-being. Over time, this practice strengthens your self-confidence, allowing you to make choices that align with your values and needs. Boundaries are not static. They evolve as your circumstances, relationships, and personal growth unfold. Periodically reassessing your boundaries ensures they remain relevant and effective. Life changes, and with it, your needs may shift. For example, a boundary you once set around work-life balance may need adjustment as your career progresses or your personal responsibilities change. Flexibility in maintaining boundaries ensures they continue to serve you effectively without becoming rigid or restrictive. Healthy boundaries benefit both individuals and relationships. For you, they provide emotional peace, protecting you from stress and exhaustion. They enhance your self-respect, reinforcing that your needs and limits are valid. For relationships, boundaries foster mutual respect and understanding. They reduce misunderstandings and create an environment where both parties can thrive independently while supporting each other. Without boundaries, relationships risk becoming one-sided, where one person feels overburdened and the other feels underappreciated. With boundaries, a balance is struck, enabling deeper connections based on trust and reciprocity. Despite the benefits, boundary setting can be challenging. Fear of conflict often deters people from asserting their limits, as they worry about upsetting others or damaging relationships. However, avoiding confrontation only perpetuates frustration and resentment. Guilt is another common obstacle, particularly for those who have been conditioned to prioritize others' needs over their own. Overcoming guilt requires a mindset shift, recognizing that self-care is not selfish but essential. Cultural or familial expectations may also discourage boundary setting, presenting it as an act of defiance or rejection. Navigating these influences takes courage and a commitment to honoring your well-being. Internal doubts, often rooted in low self-esteem, can also make boundaries feel unjustified. Building self-worth through affirmations, self-reflection, and therapy can counter these doubts, empowering you to advocate for yourself. At their core, boundaries are a profound act of self-love. They signal to the world that you value yourself enough to protect your energy, time, and emotions. They allow you to create a life that aligns with your priorities and fosters genuine connections. When supported by a strong sense of self-worth, boundaries become more than a tool for managing relationships. They become a way of honoring your authentic self. Although the process of boundary setting requires patience and persistence, the rewards, emotional freedom, stronger relationships, and a deepened sense of self are transformative. Through boundaries, you cultivate a life of balance and peace, grounded in the unwavering belief that you are worthy of respect and care. Self-care is the conscious act of nurturing one's physical, mental, and emotional well-being. It is not a luxury or indulgence, but an essential practice for maintaining balance, resilience, and overall health. In a world that often glorifies constant productivity and self-sacrifice, self-care serves as a reminder to prioritize one's own needs. It is an act of self-respect that enhances one's ability to face life's demands while fostering a deeper connection with oneself. Physical self-care through regular exercise, balanced nutrition, quality sleep, and hydration supports the body's optimal functioning and enhances overall well-being. Physical self-care also includes listening to your body's signals, such as resting when you feel fatigued or seeking medical attention when needed. These actions not only improve physical health, but also enhance mental clarity and emotional stability. By treating the body with care, you create a solid base for managing stress and embracing life's challenges. Mental self-care involves creating space for rest and reflection. It is about calming the mind and nurturing cognitive well-being. Practices such as meditation, journaling, reading, or engaging in creative activities can help declutter the mind and provide a sense of peace. Taking breaks from technology and limiting exposure to negative influences such as toxic news cycles or draining social interactions are equally important. Mental self-care fosters clarity, focus, and the capacity to approach problems with a balanced perspective. Emotional self-care is the practice of acknowledging, understanding, and managing your feelings. Life is filled with highs and lows, and emotional self-care provides the tools to navigate these experiences with resilience. Expressing emotions through conversations with trusted friends or therapists, engaging in mindfulness practices, or allowing yourself to process grief or joy without judgment are integral to emotional well-being. Setting healthy boundaries is also a form of emotional self-care, as it protects your energy and fosters relationships that are nourishing rather than draining. Self-care extends beyond individual actions and includes creating an environment that supports well-being. Curating a space where you feel safe, inspired, and comfortable can significantly impact your mental and emotional state. Simple changes such as organizing your surroundings, incorporating natural light, or adding elements like plants or meaningful decorations can transform your environment into a sanctuary. A supportive environment helps you recharge and approach life with renewed energy. The essence of self-care lies in its ability to restore balance and empower individuals to show up fully in their lives. It is not about escaping responsibilities, but ensuring you have the resources to meet them effectively. Prioritizing self-care does not diminish your ability to care for others. Rather, it enhances it by ensuring you are emotionally and physically equipped to do so. When you honor your needs, you set a powerful example for others to do the same, creating a culture of mutual respect and well-being. Practicing self-care requires consistency and intention. It begins with self-awareness, recognizing when you need rest, nourishment, or emotional support. Over time, self-care becomes a natural rhythm, woven into the fabric of daily life. As you cultivate these habits, you not only nurture yourself, but also build a life rooted in balance, peace, and fulfillment. Self-care in all its forms is a declaration of worthiness, a commitment to honoring the person you are while striving for the person you wish to become. Letting go of control is a transformative act of surrendering the need for certainty and embracing the natural flow of life. In a world that often values meticulous planning and predictability, the desire to control every detail can become a source of stress, anxiety, and frustration. By loosening this grip, we open ourselves to growth, resilience, and creativity, allowing life to unfold with greater ease and authenticity. At its core, letting go of control is about accepting imperfection and recognizing that not everything can be managed or predicted. Perfectionism often drives the need for control, fostering unrealistic expectations that leave little room for mistakes or flexibility. By releasing these expectations, we allow ourselves to embrace the imperfect nature of life and recognize that flaws and missteps are part of the human experience. This acceptance fosters self-compassion, helping us move through challenges without the weight of harsh self-criticism. Accepting that life is unpredictable helps reduce the stress of trying to control every outcome. For instance, focusing on how you respond to challenges rather than controlling external events fosters resilience. By acknowledging that uncertainty is a natural part of existence, we cultivate resilience, the ability to adapt and thrive in the face of change. This mindset shift allows us to focus on what we can influence, such as our actions and reactions, while releasing the need to micromanage external factors beyond our control. Letting go also unleashes creativity, as it removes the rigid structures and fear of failure that can stifle innovation. When we stop fixating on achieving a specific outcome, we open ourselves to new possibilities and perspectives. This freedom encourages experimentation, exploration, and the courage to take risks, all of which are essential for personal and professional growth. Creativity flourishes in a space where uncertainty is viewed not as a threat, but as an opportunity for discovery. This practice of letting go extends to relationships and interactions with others. Attempts to control people often lead to tension and conflict, as it undermines their autonomy and fosters resentment. By relinquishing the need to dictate how others think or behave, we create space for mutual respect and understanding. This approach nurtures healthier, more balanced relationships built on trust rather than control. Letting go of control is not about passivity or indifference, but about focusing on what truly matters while releasing the illusion of control over the uncontrollable. It requires faith in oneself and the process of life, as well as the patience to navigate uncertainty with grace. By embracing imperfection and uncertainty, we cultivate a life of resilience, creativity, and authenticity. This act of surrender is not a loss, but a profound gain, a path to greater freedom, peace, and the joy of living fully in the present moment